What is going on, Legionnaires? Happy Sunday. This is At Week's End, the first At Week's End of 2024. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I say that almost every week, and then I don't know what we're going to talk about other than the few specific things. But those few specific things have me very excited. A couple episodes of Monarch to dive into, some new comic books, and I'm sure people on the panel have plenty of hot news topics to talk about because I'm sure it was a hot week for news. Let's get into all of it. Huge shout out to the homies over at Big Time Collectibles. Be sure to check them out at their website. You can follow them on social media. They're also on Whatnot about 5 days a week. Don't miss out on that. And if you need anything clean or press, my boy Justin over on Instagram can take care of you for as little as $10 a book. The link is in the description on my videos. Let them know you found them via the channel. And as always, Paul, guess what?
I'm here.
Huge shout out to ABX Comics and Games, my LCS. Over here in Augusta, Georgia, if you're ever that way, be sure to check them out. There's a link to their Facebook group down below as well. And speaking of down below, let's bring in the rest of the panel.
2024. Seems like it was just 2023.
Yeah. And on top of that, big things are already happening this year.
Mm-hmm.
Huge congratulations to Sir Timothy Nerdy, a.k.a. TM Nerdy, a.k.a. his name's not really Timothy. Just passed 1,000 subscribers right here on the Funny Tube. Huge congratulations to you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. It took me out by surprise. Shout out to 22 Comicx. He got me and Bleeker to a milestone in that. And now, since I hit 1K, it just means that I'm going to be putting out a lot more content. So chatting with the comic community is coming back. I'll be doing a regular live stream every Wednesday, and then I'll be doing dropping a video every Thursday. And of course, Between the Lines will continue, and then of course I'll be over on this show every Sunday.
Well, hell yeah! There's one more person who wants to thank you, but he wanted to thank you and say congratulations to your face.
Oh, what is that?
Don't scream at me like that.
I forgot I was muted for half a second. What is up, players?
Nothing much. Hope you're doing good, Durs. You just wrapped up a stream not too long ago. But for those that don't know, this is Collecting with Durs. Y'all all should know him who's in here. But if you're catching this on the rewind, if you're new to the channel, that's our Dursy boy. He's got content right here on the YouTube as well. Be sure to check him out. He's live on Sunday afternoons and posts throughout the week as well. And of course, Sector 2815, every Monday, 10 a.m. on his channel, he posts a DC Deep Dive where he focuses on the DC events or the kind of the topical stuff happening in DC Comics. And then every other Wednesday at 9:30 real time, Guess That Key, the live game show, the hottest comic book game show this side of the Mississippi and second hottest other side, right? We're still second hottest on the other side?
Correct, yes. And Mr. TM Nerdy has been on many times. I'm sure he'll be back really soon. And Duras is actually scheduled. He will be coming on again very soon.
Ready.
And that's this. You're going to have a show this Wednesday too. Having on
this week is not a Guess That Key week.
This isn't awful. Yeah, last week was the one where I did the clean sweep.
Exactly.
That seems so far away. I guess it was last year, but
okay. You put it that way.
It was actually January 3rd. It was this year too.
Yeah, it was January 3rd. It felt like last year.
I know the calendar was screwed up in Canada, but
Yeah, and he's extra East Coast. He's what is your time zone?
Atlantic. Yeah, Atlantic time zone.
Right. Yeah, he's actually in the water right now. You can't tell from the background, but he's in the water. What is going on, Miss So? Cali Comics, hello. What's going on, Pops? Sir DJ Links, how are you? There's ABX. Hello to all. Share it on Facebook earlier. Appreciate that. Congrats, TM. Not bad. Think how much better you would be doing if you still had your beard. What is it doing? Pops is coming for that beard, it seems like.
Guess they're gonna grow it back.
What is going on? Kenny B, hope you're doing good tonight. Hello to you. There we go. There's Scott. What is going on, brother? Hope you're doing good tonight. Hope you had a good week. It was I'm not even gonna lie to everybody. This has been a holiday season from hell. And completely in a good way, though. It just don't stop. It's all luxury problems, busy with so much family stuff and so much work stuff. I'm blessed to death on both fronts, and I'm feeling every bit of it in my soul and my bruised tailbone because I injured my tailbone at work. Still feeling it. Yeah, I was as soon as all the holiday rush of the dogs went out, the very next day I was tearing the ceiling out of the kennel myself because it's like $3,800 cheaper if you remove the ceiling for the people to come in and just put one up. So I'm sitting in rafters, holding the rafters in front of me with my foot out, trying to force old ceiling off. And when it goes, like I fall, which is fine. Like I was expecting that. That's why I'm holding it, But I was sitting on wooden rafters, and when I slid, my tailbone caught the corner of the rafter just right. And I thought I broke it for a second. Like I'm just hanging there, like, oh no. Because like you're just waiting for the pain to set in because you felt it, and I got super lucky. We're still tender, but man,
that butt's sore, bro.
Did you bruise your coccyx?
I did.
No, that's the tailbone at the bottom of the spine. That's
yeah.
That's what I actually broke as a kid when I was skateboarding. Was my coccyx or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you missed it, Scott, we said hello and hope you had a fantastic week and confirmed that I bruised my coccyx.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get into some stuff tonight. There's definitely some cool comics to talk about, but we didn't do it last week because I think that was at Year's End. We were just doing the recap show, which was an absolute
Great
blast.
show.
If you missed that. Yeah, one thing I learned from doing that is if I go into these shows with a plan or an agenda, it goes a lot smoother. Like we covered so much ground. So we're touching on MonsterVerse tonight. We have 2 episodes of Monarch, number 8 and 9, released over the last 2 weeks. That leaves only the season finale. This series has absolutely exploded at the tail end of this show. We've kind of found our direction and realized what the show is truly focusing on and what aspect of this massive universe or massive world, that they're building. And it turns out that this is all about Hollow Earth and solidifying the dynamic of the existence of monsters and how you play that into like where are they all the time. And we learned in Godzilla vs. Kong that there is Hollow Earth. They went there and they touched on a little bit of the in-movie science on how that works. And in this, we are unpacking so much more, and it's not as simple as we thought. And there's so much cool stuff to it. Durs, what did you think of these last 2 episodes?
So are we on episode 8, correct? Or are we on 9?
8 and 9.
Just 9. So episode 8, as you know, the ending was there you go.
So, homie, what is going on, Michael? Hope you're doing good. If y'all are a big fan of Marvel Snap and the DC version of that game, like the card game, DC, God, I don't even know what it's called now.
I'm actually ranked in the top 1,000 in the world on that game.
Yeah, I'd like to know where Kid Rano is. So also, if you don't know, Kid Rano is who makes my stands.
Nice. I'm a big supporter of Marvel Snap. That game is very addictive.
Yeah, he live streams playing Snap and stuff. Fantastic supporter. He's been a Legionnaire from day one before I had a channel membership. When I say day one, I mean like literally day one when I first started this stuff. It's good to see you over here, brother. Well, channel member since day one, just does his thing. Multiple time winner of the Legion League.
Nice.
He's one of the good ones.
But yeah, how episode 8 ended with them all falling into Hollow Earth and everything, and you didn't know what to expect. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, so our conversation was like, what?
Are we talking the Rock journey to the center of the Earth, or are we talking Will Ferrell journey to the center of the Earth?
Yeah, well, Will Ferrell's is a little bit different. They went on a fantastic adventure through time and space. To the land of the lost.
The land of the lost.
Jules Verne right in the center of the earth.
The Sleestacks.
The Sleestacks. Never trust a man in a tunic.
Yeah.
But my expectations for episode 9 were through the roof, basically, because I was like, okay, you knew what was going to happen. But it kind of dialed it back a little bit by showing a lot with the human aspect. I'm terrible with names. Kintaro or his name. His dad. His dad comes back and
Hero.
basically right Hero. His dad comes back as he's rummaging through his office, and he basically explains like, "Hey, why were you out there? You just ran away. What's up, Jim?" And then he drops the bombshell that his sister's dead, and he thinks Yeah, Kate, and he thinks he's joking with her, like basically brushes it off, and he's like, "No, dude, seriously, she's dead." And then now he's basically, burdens everything his fault if he wasn't doing what he was doing. So we all think they're dead. So episode 9, I'm not even going to touch on Shaw or anything right now, but it shows them in Hollow Earth. I was, like I said, episode 9 was probably my favorite because of the ending, and we can save that for a second. The ending was phenomenal. I was on my feet for that. I love that. But I wanted more kaiju. It's still, the show is holding back the kaiju. And they've gave it to us in bursts. They gave it to us with a lot of things like that. But I need, now that they're in Hollow Earth, we only had the one pig, and that pig was dope. It was a dope looking pig. But we only had that one pig for a little bit, and the next 2 episodes better be 90% kaiju, 10% human. That's what I want.
There's only one episode left, and that's one thing. That's one thing that I've known from Jump before this ever started. I'm like, this is a television show. And it's called Monarch. So one thing that I don't know, I've just had the right lenses on for watching this, because my mindset when I went into this is, I want to know more about Monarch. So I'm one of those weirdos that when the first MonsterVerse movie was coming out, like I went to some of those websites. They did the tricky like little marketing aspect where they built websites that were like with all kinds of redacted paperwork and little clues and stuff. And they're really leaning into the aspect of Monarch, the shady corporation kind of thing, or we didn't know what it was. So I kind of just really been hyper focused on that aspect of it more than anything, which I think has played well for me because the Lee Shaw stuff really fleshed out. And we talked about that, how this series, the way that it has been structured, has been like early introduction, and then we're kind of taking an episode to character focus along the way to kind of get the motives, the little bit of backstory and the driving force of each of these characters and showing why they're so important to each other along the way. Well, we finally got that with the Lee Shaw character played by Wyatt and Kurt Russell. And man, like it couldn't have been better. And like Pops just said, they actually called it under space, outer space and under space. He said, NASA can have outer space. We're going for under space. I'm like, what? So we actually get to see in episode 8 at the end of it, as well as through it, we see the kids of Hiro Randa actually link up with Monarch. Finally, the chase is over with, and they're kind of like realizing that Shaw's ahead of them. He's blowing up these portals. He thinks he's doing a good thing to shut off Hollow Earth, to try to keep the Titans inside the Earth. We're trying to help Godzilla keep the Titans in there, and he won't have anything he has to do, kind of thing. They don't realize every time they shut one down, it makes the other ones more active. It sends these gamma rays out and kind of like encourages things to come through. So they catch up with him at the site of where Kiko died, the grandma that died back in the 1950s in episode 1. And he's trying to do like the full closure thing, like shut this one down. I kind of honored her memory kind of thing. And in the process of doing it, he falls in, Kate falls in, May falls in, and you're left to think, what happened? Episode 9 opens up with one of the coolest flashback sequences. Paul, do you want to touch on episode 9 and that intro?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the things that I was, because you talked about, it's more than about just the kaiju. It's also about, who they are, how they get their powers. I mean, I'm sure everyone noticed that when they're when they're in Hollow Earth, right, behind all of them, there are both pink and blue lighting. Right, it's not just the blue, and that I think plays into what's going to come, because everyone's talking about the pink scales in Godzilla, right, in the movie coming up, right, and so I think, I mean, maybe this may not be any big revelation, but to me, the blue is the nuclear radiation, and the pink is the gamma radiation. That's what I think.
Good assumption.
And so I think what's going to happen is Godzilla is going to tap into the gamma radiation in the next movie, and that's going to be the pink.
Evolve.
Yeah,
that's what's going to evolve them.
Yeah, exactly. And we had the whole we revisited the story of, I mean, now it's 1982 and Wyatt doesn't look any older than he did, 30 years before. So it was, it had a whole, I mean, the whole thing was kind of, there was a Armageddon type of a story, of a feeling to it, with all
right
the
stuff. I'm like, dude,
exactly
this is
the
the
right
right
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was it was really good. Yeah, I totally enjoyed it. I loved the Pumbaa from Hell. That was pretty much it was a giant warthog basically. That was I did kind of, as soon as I saw it and as soon as it started going towards Kate, I did say to myself, okay, you know what, the grandmother's going to stop it. She's going to show up right now. This is what
I thought, I was instantly, for some reason, I went Kong. Kong's gonna grab or something like that, because that was an easy way to abridge. I didn't even, for some reason, I didn't even think about her whatsoever. She didn't even cross, because I knew she was still probably alive. I just didn't think that was her at the end. But as soon as the arrow flies in, I was like, "Oh, you mother!" Like you chilling down here.
A couple of things that are kind of important to like the world concept building that they've done with the whole Hollow Earth thing. We have the 1950s flashback where they found these portals. They're going down. So they've created just like a sphere, like a metal sphere that a couple of internauts or whatever you would call them, like that Wyatt Russell and a few other travelers get into. And then they get that early version of the Orca, the beacon, because they've discovered already that we can't just go in there. We try to send stuff in there. Titans can come in and out, but we can't. We get destroyed. That was something that was solidified in Godzilla versus Kong. We know that Alexander Skarsgård character went to by the big think tank that built Mecha Godzilla. They went to him because his brother had researched Hollow Earth, tried to go there and died in the process. And he had pointed out, no one can go there. You'll get destroyed going through it because you go 1,000 miles in 2 seconds. So that's the need of the vehicles that were in Godzilla versus Kong, which cool vehicles that people create are a staple to the Godzilla franchise, have been for a long time. So those are called HEAVs, Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicles. So they don't have those in the 1950s. They just had a sphere that they dropped them in, but they had to call up a Titan. And it turned out to be the Ion Dragon that we saw in the early episodes. They go down in there. They establish that the team gets killed. The Ion Dragon leaving back through a portal is actually that force that we see when something goes in or out, that kind of that pullback kind of pulled Wyatt Russell back in. Now that's something that's not necessarily been explained well, because we didn't see any of that in the main movies yet. Like we didn't see Kong come up from a hollow earth or anything and it create a vortex or anything like that. It's only in this show so far where there's kind of like that pullback when something
happened when he destroyed it. So I'm thinking when he blew up the one, that's what caused the one. And then that, I guess we'll say the ball, the sphere, the foreign object, maybe it created something with the thing. Maybe the Iron Dragon noticed it because, like I said, it's basically just riding the wake of it through.
Yeah.
So maybe it can, cause some problem that caused the portal to shut. That's what I'm going to assume, because we've only seen it the 2 times the portal's kind of closed. So.
So yeah, I'm definitely wondering about that. So maybe it is just foreign object detection or something throwing it off. That lends more heavily to the need of something like those HEAV vehicles and stuff like that. But it was wild. Wyatt Russell goes in, tragedy occurs. He comes out, and he comes out in 1982 versus when he left in 1962. Poor guy. And he got to see his nephew all grown up. And now we saw also how long that he had been stuck in that retirement home. Like for 30 years, just under Monarch's thumb. Like it was absolutely tragic thinking about how much he lost, and the dynamic between him and Hiro was kind of heartbreaking when Hiro made the comment to his would-be wife. He's like, they're asking why you're so upset your uncle's back. He's like, well, my mom, my dad, my uncle, they all promised me that they would come back. And she's like, well, it looks like your Uncle Shaw kept his promise. I'm like, damn.
Yep.
Damn,
I love they showed that clip on the TV from the first King of Godzilla. Godzilla movie, him fighting that creature. As he's sitting there in the retirement home, that flash was forward to him still sitting there.
Yeah.
Man.
there was some cool stuff. And then we end in Hollow Earth. We catch up with Kurt Russell's alive, running around, talking about how he's been here. And we don't get a good look at Hollow Earth. They obviously like shaved a little bit of money or saved a little bit of money trying to keep it really focused. Hollow Earth is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So there's a lot of it, but they are really small, but they're just kind of in a grove of trees and kind of running through it kind of thing. And trying to find Kate, cut to Kate. She's waking up to a half tree, half like big growing roots and horns out its back, stalking Kate, and it catches an arrow to the eye, none other than her grandmother Kiko, who's down there and still looks young from the time dilation stuff. So when Kate, Shaw, and May went through, they went backwards in time, where he had come out of it and went forward. They went in and went back to meet her at that age. So that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, the whole when someone travels and you get the lightning on the ground and everything, and it was like that was a kind of a cool little concept as well.
That they had to dodge all that and stuff like that, and being super disoriented. I think the final episode we're gonna be left with more questions than answers, is my feeling. After seeing this episode and them having only one, I think it's going to be a banger, and the series is going to finish amazing. But it being a TV series, it's going to 100% have to leave us with more questions than answers, especially if they want a season 2, or if they're going to just leave it open-ended and say, hey, this is directly tied into the upcoming movies.
There's one massive thing this show is missing. For one, I think that this has been hyper focused. There's so much in this whole Monarch stuff that you could dive into, but they are hyper focused on Hiro Randa's story. This is really Hiro Randa's story, and like to get Hiro's story, you need his parents' story and his kid's story and how it's tied to him. This is hyper focused on that. So keeping that in focus and seeing how they touch on little things here and there, and the creation of Apex, or the upgrade of Apex, and the little things with the Wanderer ship with Bill, and just stuff here. We're missing one thing in the finale. We need to see a good monster fight. The kids come back with their dad kind of thing. And there needs to be a moment mention or something where Dr. Kurosawa comes to figure out why this small faction of Monarch is having all these issues. Monarch is a large-scale operation. The fact that no one said Dr. Kurosawa yet, Ken Watanabe's character, the head of Monarch at this time, why no one's pointed him out or said his name is a crime at this point. Like, they have to use that as like the big Easter egg send-off to absolutely put the cherry on top for me.
I would have liked this show to have end credit, like how the end credits have an after little clip or whatever.
The teasers.
Yeah, I maybe not every single episode, but I think they could have used that for like the Apex reveal at the end of the episode. Yeah. Like cut that out and extend the episode just a few minutes longer, and then use those for nice.
Or just cut it out and put it back there, even if you don't extend it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Just cut those out and use them as little after credits, because I think
just let us know every episode you're going to give us a little connection tease. Yep. Like we're waiting on the connection tease. It's just that would be a great little hype generator. I'm not mad at that at all. I watch all these shows like Charlie with the board with the strings behind me, and it's always sunny. I just
in the newsroom.
Yeah.
So
cigarettes in each hand.
This episode was written by Matt Fraction. So one of the things I really liked was you would, I think if it was, I don't want to say anyone else, but you would think that, when Ken Watanabe's character finally sees his son and they sees his son, there'd be like this big reunion and everything. And it's like, no, he wants nothing to do with him. He's like, he's like, you have screwed us up so much. It's like, you just don't understand it. And I thought that was done really well. The whole interaction between the two of them, I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, with Hiro and Kenoshi.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenny.
I just went with their actors' names instead.
Reality set in for Hiro, like when he said that Kate's dead, he didn't believe him at first. Thought he was just watching him break. Dude, that was tough. That was tough. That was really well done scene.
I agree.
And then after, just think how defeated and how bad he felt, like coming home by himself, knowing he lost May and knowing he lost Kate. And it had to be rough.
I almost kind of don't. I feel bad for him, but the simple comment of him saying still to his son, "You were never supposed to find out about that part of my life," is like him
About
still,
his sister. Yeah, that was
still
terrible.
still trying to hide it, still trying to be blah 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 blah. So like, do I really feel bad for the guy? Yes, his daughter just died, of course, but at the same time, like, bro, you're living two lives two crazy lives.
Well, we're also missing massive details on what he's doing. We don't know what Hero is doing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We're
And
gonna
remember, he had that one line of dialogue too. Like when you saw us in the desert, why didn't you come to? She goes,
right.
Everything went wrong. Like what went wrong? Like you had the orca, you turned it on, Godzilla got it. What went wrong?
Right.
What part of that was not what you were intending to happen? What are you trying to do? We have no clue what he's doing.
It gives me the same vibes as Ahsoka, where it led up to this, and it's like, oh my God, there's one episode left. How are they going to answer all these things with one single episode? Make the episode the last. For me, TV shows, like, I understand what they're trying to do, but the last episode or two, I feel like needs to be the extra, like, 15 or 20 minutes. Give us like an hour-ish last, like, final episode, because then that studio will have the time to put in whatever they need. Don't just leave it open-ended and be like, oh, hopefully there's a season 2. There may or may not be one day.
I think it's gonna directly go into the movie.
Well, yeah.
There may be some openings left open at the end of the movie that they could then go back into and do a season 2.
That's what the show has going for it. It has.
You got to keep in mind, this show takes place between Godzilla and Godzilla King of Monsters. It takes place between number 1 and number 2.
So then it might not lead into anything.
No, I think it's just introducing us to concepts that we're going to be, because we got introduced to Hollow Earth in number 5? You had Godzilla, King of Monsters, Skull Island. And number 4, we get introduced to Hollow Earth proper. They introduce the concept in Kong, then we go there in Godzilla versus Kong. So now they're just using this to give us the details of it, some nuance to it and stuff. And the movie's still going to, in some way, stand on its own for the vast majority of people that don't have Apple TV kind of thing, but they're definitely seeding it. It feels like a proper comic tie-in where you won't be punished for missing this, but if you watch it, it's about to make everything so much sweeter.
Right, I agree.
What do y'all thoughts?
Episode 10 is anticipated to run 45 minutes.
That's just a big battle with no, because I tell y'all now we're getting a Godzilla Ion Dragon battle.
You gotta have at least some kind of fight, right?
No, like we're getting a big Titan battle for the finale, and it's the Ion Dragon versus Godzilla.
That would make the most sense, unless it's some random kaiju, which would be pointless.
Yeah, I mean they're all random kaiju, to be honest. Legendary has to pay out the yin yang.
Yeah.
They talked about what I'd have to go back and find it, but they were talking about how much King of Monster cost them just to get the permission for Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah was insane.
Oh, I bet. Those are legacy monsters.
They have Godzilla locked.
Right.
Kong is not Toho.
Right.
And then they unloaded monsters. Yeah, that's why we have Scar King coming, which I'm massively excited for. That's why we have Shimu being introduced in Godzilla X Kong, like the biggest Titan ever. And they're going to tie that in like it's a giant ice power Titan. They're going to tie it in to being having a play in the reason of the creation of the Ice Age. The reason Ghidorah was on ice when they woke it up in King of Monsters. Like, it's going to be really cool what they do with it. But I kind of enjoy the fact that they're creating new Titans for the universe. As fun as it is to see the ones that we've seen before, because they're supposed to be, and you can't confirm it, I'm going to say there's a rumor, they're supposed to be the return of a very fan-loved Titan that hasn't been shown or made toys of or anything yet for the new Empire as well. The return. If Godzilla's the king, it's the return of the queen.
That'd be cool.
Y'all think Kiko's going to make it out alive? I'm curious around the horn here.
I don't think Shaw makes it out alive.
Well, is Gam coming out of Hollow Earth, or is she staying there?
I think she makes it out. Shaw sacrifices himself so she gets out.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I don't see Kurt Russell signing on for more than one season, so I would not be surprised if he does not make it out. So. And it would just be such a,
yes, Dr. Kurosawa.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be such a moment too if Kurt Russell sacrifices himself to save everybody else.
Mhm.
Especially Kiko after
Right.
everything, him always wanting her and blah 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 blah.
Is that the guy who just passed away?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Goddessilla? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not putting anything more spoilery than that out about it because I cannot confirm nor deny that I watch and read a lot of spoiler stuff about stuff.
Yeah. I did too. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Mm.
I'll tell you who will be excited to see that character and Kong together on the big screen. Monkey. Monkey's going to be through the roof.
I stay as far away from spoiler stuff as I can. So nice, Roscoe. So that's why I'm gonna make my leave now before we get into spoiler stuff.
Ultraman? Yeah. But yeah, dude, there's a Gatsuki. Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah, I can't wait to see where they go with this. Yeah, it's going to be some cool stuff. Going to be definitely some cool stuff. That finale is going to be a banger. There's a lot, like you said, that they still have on the table that they can choose to address, or just they're going to do something with it.
Right. We'll see.
We'll see how it plays out. Jersey boy, I appreciate you coming on to talk some monsters.
Of course,
The finale's
bro.
next week. How far
I got
behind on reading are you? Did you say?
Enough, especially I'm on Superman Lost issue 7.
2 months.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
like a month. Enough.
episode 9. I mean, issue 9 now. So
We got one issue left of
I'm
that.
chugging through 3 or 4 issues a night for sure. So
Anguirus appeared in Godzilla King of Monsters. Unfortunately, Anguirus appeared just a skeleton. If you, I don't know if y'all remember. Well, you obviously do, Pops, because you made a comment of the scene. This scene right here, the OG ally of Godzilla, Goodbye Old Friend, when Dr. Kirizawa, after Godzilla got beat up again, he retreated to his home, which was deep in the ocean in a sunken city, like a ancient sunken city. On their descent down there, Anguirus's skeleton, where his final resting place, he's seen right there, which was confirmed by the director to be Anguirus. Doesn't mean there couldn't be another one, obviously, but yeah, I would love Anguirus. That'd be dope.
nice.
Just
Bro.
for Ocean Clark, season 3, episode 2. That is a great show. Justice for Original Jimmy. That was a hard shift in Jimmy's right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to switch it up and we're going to hit on some comics and news and what have yous from here. Durs, you're welcome to stay, but I know you got busy stuff to do, so pop when you need to pop.
Have a good one.
Yep, I'm gonna get to. I gotta edit the video and then catch Trev and Gabe giveaway. Love you guys. Much love. See you next week.
Take it easy, my dude.
Take care.
Sir TM Nerdy, the 1,000 subscriber guy.
You should do a special show.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll think of something later.
Okay.
For those that don't know, TM Nerdy passed 1,000 subscribers here on the YouTube. He's planning an event, tentative date, next Saturday, tentative time, 6 p.m.
Real time.
Clear your calendars.
Real
Is that
time.
6? Is that okay? Real time or Atlantic?
7
Well,
Atlantic.
I want to start doing all my times with Atlantic time to see how far that gets us. TM, what are we about to talk about? Y'all got any news you want to touch on? Is there anything news-worthy, announcement-worthy?
Yes. James Gunn said that he has written about half of the episodes of Peacemaker Season 2.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
We're also less than 2 months away from Superman Legacy starting filming.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When
He had
Didn't
nothing
he
to say,
mention too-
nothing that he could talk about in regards to lanterns. But
he also confirmed that we will not have a trailer this year, which is crazy to think about, that we won't have a trailer this year, at least a tease or something. I want to hear from TM. How's
everything started changing. Like people just kind of I walk down the street, people look at me differently.
Rightfully
it's
so.
a great feeling.
that's the lack of the hair. That has nothing to do with.
Yeah. Do Newfoundland time. Newfoundland time, they're a half an hour later than I am. Just a half an hour.
how do people do that? Like everything should be an hour. Like how do places in suddenly just do a half an hour?
So Newfoundland is in like the provinces that are in Atlantic time zone is Prince Edward Island, where I'm at, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and I want to say Montreal. No, I think they're not in Atlantic. I think
Montreal's
that's
got to
just
be east because that's just north of Vermont and everything. So that's got to
yeah.
be Eastern time.
So it's just the three of us: Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and then Newfoundland, which is just right beside kind of Prince Edward Island. They were like, you know what, we want to be different. So we're going to go a half an hour later than everybody else. The only province in Canada that has their own time zone. And then it's weird too, because like all of Canada also does daylight savings times, but Saskatchewan doesn't do it. So they never have a fallback or go forward or anything like that. But yes, I will be going live Saturday, 6 p.m. real time, 7 p.m. Atlantic, over on my channel. I'll be giving away some stuff. I have some stuff to give away, and it just took me out by surprise that I got to 1K. I wasn't expecting it, so I truly appreciate everybody that's subscribed to me and has watched my channel.
You have earned it, and somehow I think that you're probably like sending an email to every single subscriber thanking them because that's the kind of person that you are.
I wish I could. So.
He will say hi to every single subscriber in the chat live on Saturday night at 6 o'clock.
Are they asleep?
That's really the only news that I can think of. There really wasn't too much else because it's still the holidays for people, so things aren't filming yet.
Yeah, I know people are wondering if Daredevil is going to come out this year, but I highly doubt that Daredevil will be coming out this year, due to the fact that they haven't even started filming.
Right. Although wasn't there an Echo trailer that featured a Daredevil Echo battle or something? Wasn't there? Isn't he supposed to show up in Echo?
He might show up in Echo, but I don't think because they had to do a bunch of rewrites for the Daredevil show. So maybe some of it, maybe they kept it all, but I thought they were going to scrap the entire episode, and I don't think they even started filming whatsoever.
I think although they had said originally it wasn't, I think they had now said that the Netflix Daredevil series is canon. And I got something relaxed, and yes, I have caught up on Star Trek Prodigy on Netflix. So good. Can't wait for season 2.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Kyle just got home. We're
Hi,
coordinating vehicle stuff. She's on the phone. I think I told you where someone ran in the back of my mom's car when her and Nanny were trying to get home. So we're coordinating all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving mom one of our cars to add on top of what she's getting from the insurance because her car got deemed totaled. Right. So
this is
that money plus a car.
Is a couple weeks old, but Henry Cavill has now turned his attention to Warhammer for Amazon Prime.
Thought that
a Warhammer series.
Didn't they get confirmed?
Yeah.
But I think he just announced it. I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe. But we haven't.
Are they about to start filming or anything? Or do they have any scheduled stuff with it yet?
I don't think they've done that yet. But he is. It sounds like he's gonna produce, and he's gonna star in it, and it sounds like he's going head deep into it.
I think that's his number one fandom, right? When it comes to all the comic, gaming, video game stuff. Because I know he was a big fan of The Witcher. He read all the books and stuff, and their departure from the books is really what soured him on the whole thing. Right. So I'm happy to see that he has some kind of producer level participation in this. Mm-hmm. At least for the big Warhammer fans, that sounds like nothing but good news. And it'll be all completely new to me.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
Have to see where it goes. What else happened this week? I mean, I've been so busy. I've been out of the loop on a lot of stuff. I did see where Hasbro looks like they're selling off. That was a big announcement, right? What happened with them?
Oh, I didn't look into it, but they're just trying to sell off some of their properties to make some money back, and that you'd think they would have made some good money off of Rise of the Beast because that made money in the box office, didn't it? So
Oh.
yeah, they're trying to sell off a lot of their licensing in that, and which is crazy to say because I thought they were
Right.
doing pretty good, especially with their toys.
Maybe that made me think maybe Robert Kirkman will buy the properties outright. But that made me think of, we haven't heard it from Robert Kirkman yet, but Stephen Yeun is out of the Thunderbolts movie.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is Hasbro sells Entertainment One to clear $400 million in debt. They do massive layoffs as well. Hasbro sells film, TV business, and retires $400 million in debt. Following layoffs, they did that. So I'm wondering how much of all I hate to always call back to it. I wonder how much of all this is just like the wake of like lockdown era stuff, you know? I mean, that has to have ripples for a while.
But at the same time, like during the whole lockdown and COVID and stuff, people were overbuying, and I thought a lot more people were buying Hasbro toys and that because like Transformers is a huge toy franchise, and they're not cheap.
Yeah, but it's not a matter of like people like buying stuff online or from Target. They're buying existing stock. You know, if you buy something from Target, Hasbro didn't make $1 on that. The only money Hasbro made is when Target initially bought it from them. So you're sitting there buying out existing stock, but Hasbro's not running their factories. They're not shipping. They're not moving trucks for a year, for a freaking year. They didn't create anything. And that's just, that's unfortunate as hell. But I'm sure that the brand will last on. We did see, dude, that just reminds me, like McFarlane picked up Hasbro licensing. That was a couple of weeks ago that they confirmed that he's going to be producing Power Ranger toys, Transformer toys, and more. Like not just those two, but he officially announced a Page Puncher line for like 5 different brands, I believe, like Hasbro brands. That's huge. Like to get McFarlane bringing Power Rangers and Transformers to life.
Are there any figures other than Star Wars that McFarlane does not do? He does all the sports ones too. He does all those.
Disney characters, even in statues and stuff. I mean, people come to him. It's wild.
He doesn't do a lot of Marvel projects or Marvel toys that much anymore, does he?
Is this Guess That Key?
I'm interested to see what Todd McFarlane brings for a Transformers toy. Like, because of course, like if he's doing it, it'll be a little bit different than Hasbro doing it. And I'm wondering because this would be the first time you ever have a toy that he's done that really transforms. So I wonder how he's going to do that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see like the mechanics that he puts into it because he can make one hell of a mold, but what is he going to? I mean, it's not him sitting there sculpting it, but he sure does know how to hire the right people to approve the right stuff. And he's proven himself. He's the toy king. He just is. He's the real life guy.
Maybe he'll make it easier because I don't know about you guys, but it's really hard to transform a Transformer.
Yeah, I've talked about that with some of the stuff Finn has. You know, like as a kid, you can do these things, and then all of a sudden you're an adult. You're like, yo, wait a minute, I don't know what to do. I'm looking at the instructions, and I'm not getting it. Then you give it to the kid, and he's like, yeah, there you go.
Well, also like toys back then weren't as complicated as they are today.
Be all Batmobiles. I get that joke. That's a good one.
So
yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff coming up on the horizon for toys. But yeah, the Power Rangers have bounced around from Bandai. Haim sold out to Hasbro because the guy that started running that division for Hasbro was a 20-year co-worker for Haim Saban for years, who was doing the stuff under Bandai or something. So
Saban doesn't own Power Rangers anymore?
No.
Oh.
Netflix owns Power Rangers now.
I'm not a big Power Rangers fan, so I didn't know that. I just
so as far as the toy production rights, Bandai had it from the time that I was a kid to just a few years ago. It switched over to Hasbro, and it didn't abandon Bandai. It stayed with the person who left Bandai to go to Hasbro, kind of thing. Like it was a good working relationship with this guy for the entire time that we've been making toys, and he's gotten a promotion and moved to a different company. We trust him and we'll go with him, kind of thing. And it's worked out. It's a successful toy line. They do good stuff, I guess. I prefer the Bandai era stuff. Just I don't knock Hasbro. They make good toys, but I I prefer a lot of other stuff over them. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of interesting stuff coming. What else happened? Anything?
You mentioned Steven Yeun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No
We lost the
longer.
Sentry.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons, have they came out with any official reason? I did see that the initial response was due to delays along the way. It just didn't
Right.
work with the schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. Then
I got it right here. If you want
Go ahead.
to quote it from him, it's just like, I think for me, time passing and things shifting kind of pulled me out of it. Yoon explained, but Jake Schreier, I know, is going to do an incredible job. I want to do a Marvel movie, he added. But yeah, but he
I like the
thinks
send off. He said, "I guess just bye for now." Like he didn't want to hear nothing from nobody about it.
Like he said he does want to do a Marvel movie, but he knows that, like, if he reveals what part he wants, he won't get it, so he'll just keep it to his chest. But he doesn't think that Marvel will ever want him back after he left. So I don't know if this is scheduling or like, you'd think like he would actually be like, okay, it's scheduling differences and stuff. I plan to do this movie now with them doing reshoots and pushing it and stuff. I can't do that, but he didn't come out and state that. So I'm wondering what else, like, did he just quit, or was it because of Robert Kirkman?
Yeah, I mean, was Disney just so pissed at him that that he told Robert Kirkman, and then Robert Kirkman felt as though it was his place to tell everybody what, because they originally announced that it was just that he was hired, but they never gave the character that he was hired for.
I don't even think they like confirmed that he was hired, did they?
I thought they did that.
No.
We have like
they did
forever.
They did confirm that he was hired onto the Thunderbolts, but they didn't tell us what character.
Okay, I thought, like, because God, like I'd heard that Steven Yeun rumor rumbles for seems like forever now. Everything seems like it's been so long. But I just imagine if Sentry was going to be their big play for the movie. Like, we're keeping this under wraps. No one will know. They can speculate all they want, but till they see him, it's not confirmed. And we're going to surprise everyone, just like he was surprised in the first time you saw him in the comics when he pops out of the basement of the prison, and just rips Carnage in half. Mm-hmm. And then here comes Robert Kirkman on just a random YouTube show, drawing some pictures. This just puts it out there.
Also, I want to point out too, like, I don't know if they still do this, but who knows what character he probably didn't know what character he was going to play. Because, like, I know they keep that hush for a while and stuff. Maybe he got hired and had an unknown character that he was going to play, and then he got tested for the suit and came to find out it's like, oh, it's Sentry. Looked up the character and he's like, I'm not portraying this character at all, because this is a goddess and I'm not. Like, nothing against him, but like, that's what I would say. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing this part, and that doesn't fit me at all.
Just wasn't digging it.
Other pop culture news is, for all you Pooh Slasher fans, Mickey Mouse is next.
Oh. Steamboat Willie is about to enter public domain on what date?
He already did. It was January 1st.
It's there now. Wow. Yeah. Steamboat Willie, not Mickey Mouse, but Steamboat Willie, the earliest version of Mickey
basically
Mouse.
That version, right. And, I mean, obviously it's a little early, but in 10 years, so will Superman.
Superman! Yo, I'm not mad at that. Brightburn was fantastic. Just imagine if they called him Clark. Like, that would have been wicked.
Right. But yeah, there are apparently 2 Mickey Slasher movies in production. So,
in production or scheduled to be released?
One has been completed. One of them is scheduled to go into production.
I really feel like these people made, like, I bet the Superman slasher film was made last year too. They're just waiting for that.
They're gonna hold it for 9 years.
I don't know, like, why people, like, their first thought is just like, let's make a horror movie out of these characters. You could do so much other things with these characters, but their first thought is like, let's make them kill people.
I don't know. I guess because it's just inverting the character. It's just the laziest way to go. Like, look at most of our superhero movies. Let's have Superman fight Zod. Let's have Black Panther fight other Black Panther. Let's have the Super Soldier Captain America fight the Super Soldier Red Skull. Who should Iron Man fight? I don't know. How about Ironmonger? It's just the most classic trope there is. Just take your character and invert them. Flash, Reverse Flash, Aquaman, Orm.
Mm.
Well, that's not necessarily the same. One's a half breed, but you get the picture.
And to answer Scott's question, Phantom, Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, I believe they already are. Yes, all in the public domain. So Tarzan's in the public
Here's your
domain.
John
Here's your
Carter.
time, George
John
Lucas,
Carter.
man. Flash Gordon is now in public domain. Do what you wanted to do back when you made Star Wars.
Yeah, you know what I just thought about? Like, when Disney did John Carter, first off, I absolutely love that movie.
So did I.
They did it in 2012, which is the 100th anniversary of the film. So it was public domain when they did it. That one was beyond public domain at that point. So Disney takes advantage of public domain opportunities. So I know some people are out there upset that people are making, these beloved Mickey Mouse characters. How could you make him a slasher and ruin that's Mickey, the House of Mouse. Walt Disney is built off taking other characters in
Snow
public
White,
domain.
Pinocchio, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Little Mermaid, those are all other stories by other people that have expired and are public domain. So Disney can go ahead and do
Well,
them.
Disney built that house on the Grimm fairy tales, instead of they took dark stories and turned them into
Right.
flower petal poppy song and dance numbers, which is fine. They inverted stories and now they're getting reverted back. It's funny the ping pong game of
Have you ever watched Once Upon a Time?
I haven't. Pops has.
Yep.
Yeah, they kind of use those kind of grim fairy tales even in that with changing some of their characters that you think are good, and then you come to find out that they're villain of the story. I absolutely loved Once Upon a Time except for the last season. The last season was kind of shitty.
There you go. Pops knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about public domain. The porno Flash Gordon was done years ago. Flesh Gordon.
Well, but I mean, there's lots of those type of they fall into parodies.
Yeah.
So.
Also, in terms of, I don't even feel like harping on all this, but the CGC thing that's going on with that person who over the course of his time submitted verified 300 and something books. There's 300 something books that are potentially fraudulent. Mm-hmm. That's the list of books that he submitted, not the list of frauds. Some can be, most probably aren't, kind of thing. CGC said they're hiring a private investigator to look into that. Private investigator. They also said that they're going to be making it right with people and to send their books in so that they can open them, inspect them to see if it is in fact the book in the proper grade or not. And they will do that for free and send you your book back in a new holder, new label with a new cert number. They're trying to kill all of the cert numbers that are in question and put fresh cert numbers that are truly verified on there. And just throwing that out there for people that might not have heard or seen that news. If you're somebody who's affected by it or somebody who cares. But yeah, I know that topic gets done to death, but just throwing that out there. We should have had a Mickey Mouse even earlier.
We would have. Disney convinced Congress to extend it to 95 years. It was originally 75 or something like that.
Yeah, that's not even Disney. Mm. Speaking of Disney, we have a new Star Wars director.
We do?
We do. Y'all haven't seen this news this week.
I did see it, and it's getting blown out of proportion.
Can you put it into proportion for us then, TM?
Well, the quote that she's coming in and stuff. She did state she's good that there'd be a direction of it kind of sucks for the people that she kind of outed by Bryce Dallas Howard and that she worked on Star Wars and that she stated that it's good to have a vision of a woman coming in to take over Star Wars, which is kind of dismissing her. But that quote that she said 15 years ago is just she likes making men uncomfortable, and that's when we get a change. And I do agree with that, because until out of sight, out of mind, if we don't know what's happening in the world, let's say something's happening in the world and that we don't know it's happening, it doesn't change until we're made to feel uncomfortable, and then we wake up and realize, okay, yeah, we should be doing stuff differently, or doing this differently. That's how what was it, the Cold War got resolved? It was like we had to actually see how these people were being treated, to actually wake up and just
So Bryce Dallas Howard is going to direct a Star Wars movie. Is that what you're saying?
no. Just this. She
Obeid
kind of stated.
Chinoy is, and she's saying that it's good to finally have this woman named Obeid Chinoy. I have no clue who she is, but she's coming in real hot, stating that she's excited to be there. It's time for Star Wars to have a female direction, a female led direction. She's like a super feminist who's on record as her goal is to make people feel uncomfortable. She's also a freaking idiot because she doesn't realize that Kathleen Kennedy has been in charge of Star Wars since Disney bought it.
And having a female director worked out so well for Pamela Jenkins.
I don't think it did, Paul.
That's my point.
I think having a female director is perfectly fine. It's just having who wrote that Aquaman story?
Sina Grace was the first one. Megan Fitzmartin was the last one.
That one. Having a female director is great. Having a Megan Fitzmartin is guaranteed to fail.
Mm-hmm. I'm with Sled 75. I just want a good Star Wars movie. I don't care who makes it.
Yeah, I don't care at all who makes it. I don't want to like Star Wars be like it's just clearly obvious. Like, we can try to be optimistic, but it is absolutely obvious that this is just going to go the wrong way. She's like the what's that Snow White actress's name?
Zendaya.
No, God, no, I love Zendaya.
Or not. Why did I say Zendaya? No, I can't.
I know why you said Zendaya. I know why.
Zendaya is always on my mind.
And you are Spider-Man.
Say it to myself every time in the mirror.
I'm forgetting her name, but she played in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. She played in the new Hunger Games. She's cast to be Snow White, and she has turned into just.
And here's the thing: she's only 24. She's only 24. She needs what are they called? People that are just like, shut your mouth and we'll take care of it in the news and stuff. Like, just don't.
Yeah, you're supposed to have like press packages. You're supposed to have like queued responses, and that's to protect like you think that the insurance company would ask for those things for the people involved in press things. Like, in order to protect this project that these people have invested in, they hired these mediators for stuff like this. This is the message we want to attach to this film that's of this tone and style, and the message should be like geared toward the message of the film, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be like the new Snow White going around crapping on Snow White and like pretty much saying things that make people who are fans of it like, you're idiots, kind of thing. And that's what this director seems like she's about to be for Star Wars. It's just, I don't know.
Rachel
it's like
Zegler.
that's her, Rachel Zegler.
Sled 75th.
Yeah, she's a great actress. But like she's turned into kryptonite for a successful film, and she did it all on press meets on red carpet.
That film was doomed from when they had the whole thing with, hey, you know what, Nick? Both the Jets and the Patriots will be in the same place next week when the playoffs start. They'll be watching from home. So. But that whole thing was when who's the guy from Game of Thrones? The Peter Dinklage. Yeah, when Peter Dinklage started on the fact that the whole dwarf thing was screwed up. Well, it was doomed from the start.
Weren't they going to do like all AI?
No, dude. Like I'm just going to call it for what it is. They were making Snow White and the LGBTQ. That's what they were doing. Like they were literally making like the most, by anyone's like usage of the word, woke movie they could possibly make, where it was like not little people. It looked like every person from every race, a trans person, a white person, a black person, a Chinese person, dudes, girls. Like it was clearly a diversity and inclusion. It was Snow White and the diversity and inclusion crew. Like the textbook definition of it. Like, and it's like the peak of how far Disney was going to go with it, and it just hit it the wrong time. And people like, yo, we're not watching this. Like, and Peter Dinklage was like, you're messing with this. And even people who don't like the dwarf community came out like, yo, why are you taking the one thing that we get in Hollywood? Like, you're trying, it's offensive to use dwarfs. So we're the dwarfs, and we're saying you just took our dream job from us. Like, we come to Hollywood, like that's Mount Rushmore for us to get Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you know, like that's it. We don't get much like that. Not all of us can be Peter Dinklage, you know, who gets like jobs that it's in as like writer, that it can't be a role for a little person, you know, but he's like the only little person who gets it like that. It was wild. Snow White and the Seven San Franciscans.
His role, he is like, yeah, he is definitely his
Vertically
role.
challenged.
Like he played Trask in
Right.
Days of Futures Past.
Right.
So,
yeah, she wasn't referring to the Grimm fairy tale though. She was referring to the Disney classic that built that empire.
Mhm.
yeah, they definitely need to just be quiet and just because like it's affecting their work. If it affects your work, then yeah, you should just not speak.
Yeah, I mean, it was
it does suck though too, because then you're just like, what can I say? And that it's just like sometimes the heat of the passion, heat of the moment, you just kind of say what you say.
I agree a lot with this. They really don't know how to measure an audience like they used to. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like the room of ideas has gotten a lot smaller. I'm not saying there's less people in it. There's just as many people, but the room is smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting as many ideas. Everything seems to be coming from like the same thought process of ideas anymore. I don't know. Disney makes movies to make a statement, and they always have. It's just they used to be like universal messages, like, but now it's very, very specific messages, which is fine. But that means you're talking to a very specific audience when you got to talk to a wider audience. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything right or wrong with their messaging. That's not the point I'm making. The point is it's just too pointed of a message, you know, like that doesn't work. That doesn't work in any kind of media. You have to paint with a wider brush. You want to get as many audience members in as you can. I don't know. It's difficult. I know I couldn't do it. What is going on, John's Comics with Kids? But yeah, TM, their response is they canceled the Magical Friends, and they responded with a post with AI dwarfs. They still didn't give the jobs to actors. They're trying to be polite, and in the process, they're offending the people that they were trying to be polite to. I don't know. It's a rough one. Ben Parker Comics, what is going on? Yeah, the storytelling is, not the company. But y'all got anything else? You want to hit on some comic books? You want to hit on some comic books?
Sure.
Show here. First off, I do want to point out that if you missed it, it's out this week. The Big Game trade paperback is out. I made sure to pick one up. I have the individual issues, obviously, but I've been on a kick with getting all the trades for the Miller World stuff. About 80% of it I own in trade. So I'm just like, this will be perfect. I'll end up rereading it a lot faster this way, and I can't wait to dive back into it. I'm pretty sure y'all read. TM, did you read this? Ooh. That's something to look forward to. Then I'd suggest the Miller World stuff to anybody. There's so many different style stories. They're all pretty, for the most part. Most of the stuff is one trade, just different story, different characters, different everything, different style, genre, all that, and it all comes together like butt cheeks in Big Game. It's wild.
I'll tell you what I did read, and I read like all 6 issues over the holidays, and I got all caught up, and that was Superboy, and that actually made my number 1 favorite read of 2023. That was.
Is that the most recent miniseries, Superboy Man of Tomorrow, where he meets the Cosmeteers?
Yeah, such a great story, and that like self-discovery of him becoming a hero in his own right, and figuring that out, and then how they set up potential books or series that we might get in the future with him is absolutely great. But yeah,
that was one of the books that won the Twitter voting.
Yeah, the round robin competition. I read the first 2 issues, and my pull list was insanely too long, and I couldn't get to everything in a week's time. And I ended up just like, I'll just read it on the app, and haven't finished it yet.
I was picking it up and I didn't even read a single issue, and like I had the complete series, and I was like, yeah, I might as well read it.
The artwork was fire. Wasn't it Kenny Porter who wrote that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I really hope that he comes back and writes another Superboy story. It was fantastic.
Still kind of salty that Suicide Squad Dark didn't win, or Etrigan and Constantine. There were some great concepts in there. You know, there was a one from 2 years ago. I think it was Blue Beetle Graduation Day. I think that was one of the contenders from a couple of years ago that they ended up
with Robbins. Robbins won that one.
Robbins won that one. And then they ended up making the Blue Beetle Graduation Day miniseries anyways, probably due to the movie, and they had the story ready. And like, but maybe some of those other ones will get to see the light of day someday, because those Suicide Squad Dark, Constantine, and Etrigan all made the final. So we got to see the first 3 pages of them. So it's like, yo, that's not even cool. We'll see. But you liked it though, TM? It was that good?
Oh yeah, it made my favorite read of 2023. Highly recommend that book.
I don't know what happened after issue 2, but I got a massive pop out of me when the Dominators thought that they were going to take that planet, and they thought that they were beating up Superboy for a while. And then he finally looks up and goes, all right, good. The civilians are clear. Let's go. And he just turns up. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, that was an awesome moment. I'm going to definitely get back and check that one out for sure. Paul, what'd you read this week that was any good?
It was a very small week for me, actually.
Yep.
Which is making up for the last couple of weeks, because the last 2 weeks for the holidays was like
December was wild.
Exactly. I'm gonna go with the one of my favorite covers of the week too.
I thought that was last week. That's right here. This was a good one too. But yeah, that one right there, that made my top 10 list. Mm-hmm. Tim, are you up to speed on Batman?
No, I haven't been reading Batman. Just the Black Label stuff.
That's fair enough. We'll tell you all about it. Paul, what'd you think of it?
I really liked it. I actually am really excited for where it's going to go next. I also actually kind of enjoyed seeing the preview for Action Comicx in the back of it.
I got a lot of hope for that now.
Yep.
Yeah, sir. Don Tim.
Yeah. So we basically see that Batman is Zur-En-Arrh has actually ended up, by the end, he has captured Batman. He has placed him deep below, and he is now sharing a cell with the Joker. And that's going to lead into Joker Year 1, which is coming up next on a bi-weekly or weekly basis, I think, for Batman. So yeah, I mean, he is Chip Zdarsky. He has taken Grant Morrison's Zur-En-Arrh and just gone, deep into him, and he's basically been the big bad of Batman for the last almost a year now, I think, probably.
Yeah, so for me, this one actually put me over for this series. I've been like, it's good, it's not great kind of thing about this whole Chip Zdarsky era on Batman. It's really the format of the storytelling of the main Batman series. I feel like it gets gimmicked too much. I love me a good gimmick cover, but quit honeydicking me with the stories. You don't need to try to oversell a book on a first appearance that amounts to nothing and it's just throwaway. I feel like the story suffers because they know that Batman sells so well for them that they can really drive the market to pick it up pretty easily, and they do it often. So Chip has done a series of like 6-issue stories, but this last one has been called Mind Bomb. And this was the finale to that. And what Chip decided to do was take this Zur-En-Arrh story, which is this suppressed personality. It's a failsafe Batman put in his own mind where if things are going so bad, it takes over and it's pure Batman, no Bruce Wayne, and it's become the dominant personality. But it's found a way to get out of his mind and download itself into the failsafe robot that we started Chip's run with. So now that we're a little bit farther into it, he's actually able to call back to the moments earlier throughout his run, even Batman 900, when he gets his hand cut off. I love that they reminded us that Batman only has one hand, and he uses that robotic hand that has gadgets in it, which I really enjoyed. And this whole issue was just a cat and mouse game, a fight for survival through cabins in the woods, through underground, through the woods, like all over the place, of Batman against unspeakable odds. And he loses. And I loved it. I absolutely loved that he lost. It made the story finally feel like it has longevity intentions. And I really enjoyed the more longer format storytelling. That's one thing that I'm really digging about Detective. But yeah, this had me super excited to. Now I'm just picturing, like, I hope we get at least a good few months with Zur-En-Arrh Batman being the predominant Batman operating in the city. Like, let's follow him, not just Batman in a cell. We don't need to spend so much time hearing him getting out, and him talking to the Joker. Let's actually watch what happens when Zur-En-Arrh is in charge of the city, and how the rest of the Bat family have to deal with it, because they know they can't stop him. They've established that. So yeah, it got me excited.
And the backup story is interesting too, because one of the things that he's done too with the Zur-En-Arrh was he basically has a Zur-En-Arrh for every single Batman that you can think of. There's an Adam West Zur-En-Arrh. There's Batman Beyond Zur-En-Arrh. There's Dark Knight Returns Zur-En-Arrh. And they basically battle each other in the backup story as well. So, yeah, he was an alien Batman, and then Grant Morrison took it and just went in a whole different direction and reimagined it. And it was, and now Chip Zdarsky, like I said, has taken it and said, I'm going to make it mine. This is what we're doing.
All right, so one for me, and this unfortunately isn't going to be such a positive review on this one. Now, hot take here. I tell y'all all the time that I'm obviously DC heavy. I slant DC. No secret there, no apologies. I still love Marvel characters. I really can't say I love Marvel comics anymore, but I love Marvel characters, and I continue to try the comics. One of those characters that I haven't spent time reading their run since the David Finch era was Moon Knight. We're getting a new Moon Knight, a new series, a new #1. It's a jump on point. I figure, you know what? This would be pretty fun, hopefully. So I grabbed the David Finch cover of Vengeance of Moon Knight, issue #1, and decided to check it out. And I got to say, it's trash. I'm not going to candy coat it. Shout out to whoever enjoyed it. If you think this is good, man, I cannot wait for you to read so much more stuff, because this was written so poorly, it hurt to read. I'm not even joking. The concept behind it on paper, if you're just writing on a bar napkin, is pretty cool. Mark Spector was killed trying to save the city from someone who he didn't save. He saved the city, but he died. The Dark Spectre person is still out there. He apparently has a band of misfits that runs like his gang. His Midnight Mission is what they call themselves, and it composed of a vampire named Reese, an ex-soldier person, Hunters, Moon, and Tigra. Their job is to make sure people can walk through the city. Not joking. If you're walking through the city at night, we got you. I don't know what it means if you're driving in a car, if you're riding on a motorcycle, if you leave at sundown, if you leave at sunup. But if you're walking through the city at night, they got your back. Dumb to begin with. Like, that's what they say. In the book, the way that it's written, they say the word Midnight Mission no less than 15 to 20 times. I'm not even joking. So much so that as I'm reading it, I'm a third of the way through, and I'm wanting to stop and actually take tally marks of it. There's also like some cringe moment scenes that make zero sense, where Reese goes to talk to Tigra, and literally they put their foreheads together to have a conversation, not because there's like tension between the two, not because they're going to fight, not because it's romantic, just because. Made no sense. So when I turned the page and it went nowhere and changed scenes, I literally laughed. I'm like, dude, what is this? How did this? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But by the end of it, 8-Ball, the reformed villain that first appeared in Sleepwalker #2, I think, he's part of the Midnight Mission. And he's being attacked by somebody. You know, he's walking on the streets at night. Apparently, it's dangerous. And he gets attacked by somebody who looks like Moon Knight, throws him through the window of the Midnight Mission. And it's the new Moon Knight. And we don't know who it is yet, but he says, "Get out of my house." They did make this statement kind of like for the Midnight Mission people, like, this is a reformed villain, and that's cool. But for some people, once a villain, always a villain. And it made me think, there's one way that this could be cool. Because right now, Joe Garrison is in the Punisher title. But what if Frank Castle somehow got caught up to be like one of the Fists of Khonshu. That would be dope. I know it's not going to happen, but it made me think that would be dope. But I seriously doubt I'll pick up issue 2. It depends on how light of a week it is that week. I might just to see if it doesn't deliver a little bit better. But I was severely disappointed with the style and quality of writing from Jed McKay, being that this Moon Knight run has been getting such high praise for so long. I don't know if it's one of those things where you just look back on a run at where the story went and you're looking at it from that aspect, or if it's just people who haven't read a lot. I don't know. That was a terrible read. There's no way around it. But if you're interested in first appearances and key comics, I did get the ratio variant for it that will be going into the February Legion loot box. February Legion loot.
Nice.
Let's see. I also like the idea of Frank Castle eventually having worn everyone else's clothes. He's been Ghost Rider. He's been Frankenstein. Why not let him be Moon Knight? I just think it would be cool. But yeah, also Love Everlasting is back. Haven't read this one. I'm like 2 issues behind on it. Love Everlasting is back. Tom King's indie series from Image Comics. It's wild. It's hard to explain. TM.
Yeah.
Did you finish Birds of Prey?
I did. I'm like almost. Yeah, I did. It was a really good. It was good. They're in the belly of the beast. Matt, I can't really say the name. I'm not sure how it's spelled out, but it's a deity that's trying to take what's her name? Why can't I think of her name? I was just reading a different comic just as you were talking about those comics. No,
Batgirl. Granny Goodness. Black Canary.
Black Canary. Wow.
Got it.
So she was as you know, they're still trying to get Sin, and this deity Magidera, I think that's how you say it, is they're inside of this beast. So they're tearing it apart, trying to get Sin out of this deity, and that wants to take over Sin's body, wants to become Sin and live in this world. And the only way to do that is if Sin welcomes this deity in. And the only reason this deity is here is for the simple fact that, not that Sin said it outright, but how she feels like she wants to be part of the world, she wants to be part of this, and that she kind of called out to this deity, and that's what drawn this deity to her. So it was a good one. I enjoyed it, and at like, also there wasn't that much Wonder Woman in this, but she was taken over at one point and was going up against them. So that was pretty cool. So I absolutely enjoyed this. Kathleen Kennedy is doing a great job.
Get the Pander Stone. Oh my God.
Kelly Thompson is doing a good job.
Kelly Thompson, yep.
What is going on, J-Man? Hope you're doing good this evening. Do we know how many issues this is supposed to be yet?
I think this is ongoing.
It's an ongoing.
Zombies Black White Blood. I'm not familiar with Zombies Black White Blood. I see that it has been hit by the current trend of black, white, and blooding everything. Wait, I just heard Kathleen Kennedy is doing a good job. Yeah.
No, we want Kathleen Kennedy to get.
You can go on now, get. Oh no, Kathleen Kennedy gonna get me.
Did you read it, Paul?
I did not. I've got the first couple issues, and then it fell off of my reading list. Just by necessity, there are other things that I felt more drawn to. So
another good one that came out like
Shazam.
The week. Oh,
Shazam, number 7. Black Adam. It's amazing. It's amazing what Mark Waid can do with a bunch of space traveling, auditing dinosaurs who don't know how to fill out paperwork.
Well, they know how. They just demand everyone else to, apparently.
Yeah.
Yo, this is such a wildly fun story. Issue 7 seemed to be like a benchmark with current Dawn of DC stuff as well. That's becoming like if it's issue 7, I'm now expecting it to be really good. This was super solid. The start of the next story arc. We for those that don't know, this whole run started with the whole concept behind this. The way that they're setting it apart is it's very whimsical, episodic stuff with a very serious through story happening. So you might have like space monkeys on the moon, or you might have alien T-Rexes that ship crashed on Earth, and they find ways to make it less goofy than how it sounds. While it's still goofy, it's delivering a decent story. Black Adam comes into contact with these aliens that drop a whole lot of paper in Kandak, causing a crisis, and he comes for blood. We do get introduced to Billy's family again in this, and they're establishing that they have a new house on some land away from people and enough room for the whole foster family and everything. It's just contingent upon selling their old house. The T-Rex has come to the captain for help. Black Adam's coming for him, and a battle ensues. That wisdom of Solomon that Billy's been missing for years, he has it.
In spades, like more than he had before.
Yeah, he's no longer a goofy kid when he's the captain. It's so refreshing. This is the first issue with it back. And in the midst of this battle with Black Adam, the house is getting destroyed, and he was smart enough to know, stop. We can't do this. The bigger things are happening right now. It was a fun issue. It was definitely a fun issue. Seeing a knockdown battle with Black Adam and Captain Marvel is always a blast. But it wasn't Dan Moore on the interiors on this one. I guess he has a week off, but it was still really good interiors.
Mm-hmm.
It's staying on the pull list, that's for sure. Yeah, that cover is just sick. That's just wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Another great, I don't have it on hand, but another good read was hello, hi. Another good read was Justice Society of America. I enjoyed that issue 8 that came out. I just actually recently read it.
JSA. Okay, I was like, wait, Justice League is back? Yo, this was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them about it.
Well, and so that's the Red Lantern's daughter. She's on the lookout. She's trying to find her father, and she's going through all of these means to try to find him. And then you have Green Lantern saying like she's no good. She's not redeemable. And you have Helena Wayne saying like, yeah, everybody's redeemable, and that in my world these people were redeemable. She will be redeemable. And then you have Alan Scott being like, no, I know who she is and stuff. I know there's no redeeming her. But then they end up actually like getting together, and everything seems to be fine. Like I'm not that much of an Alan Scott fan, but I don't know that much about him. But by the
that's better.
Reading this, what?
I said that's better. You said I'm not much of an Alan Scott. Well, I don't know much about him. Yeah, so that's better.
Yeah. But by the sounds of it, Alan Scott was in love with the Red Lantern. By the sounds of it, they weren't enemies like you said. Like even in the book, she says like I'm sensing a lie when he's like, yeah, we were enemies.
Yeah, so this is tying in heavily to the Alan Scott miniseries. We're getting the origin and backstory and introduction of the Red Lantern all in that miniseries. This is one of those retconned characters for this new Golden Age era that Jeff John is crafting and creating. Inside of the Justice Society of America, we have Huntress from a different Earth, now on Earth Zero with our main heroes on her world. They had a JSA comprised of reformed villains and heroes alike. So she's trying to implement that now on this Earth with us. And our heroes like, yo, these aren't the same speed villains you must have, because we tried to go do that with Solomon Grundy. Like you said, it went south. Salem fried the dude. We're waiting on him to regenerate. She's like in timeout. And now you're saying you want the Red Lantern? Like she's killing people in Russia on a manhunt for her dad, just slaughtering people. We can't reform that. She's a murderer. And Alan Scott's demanding that he goes by himself to address it. He can handle it. Don't worry about it. Due to his past with her father, the Red Lantern, who he thinks is dead, which we're going to see why he thinks that inside of the pages of Alan Scott Green Lantern that we're 3 issues deep on. And we're just getting introduced to him, just the whole concept of him in his first big reveal, really. So he does have ties to Alan Scott. We don't know how far, how deep it goes. Turns out that it's like one of his previous boyfriends. That it doesn't look like Tommy had the same intentions that Alan had. Possibly, he looked like he was a Russian plant the way that number 3 ended, because he reveals himself to Alan at Alan's house, takes a cheap shot at him, lords over him, and says something in Russian. And for that time era, it's probably not a good idea for your significant other to have the urge to cheap shot you and then speak Russian, especially when Alan Scott was working for the U.S. Navy. So it's looking bad. It's looking really bad. That would be dope. But Alan Scott already.
Also, was that Salem in that? I thought Salem got, like, she was in that panel, right? I was looking. I was like, wait, Salem.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Why isn't she locked up somewhere? I thought they got rid of her.
That's what was shocking me, and I was like, well, I guess I'm wrong. It's like maybe she isn't Dr. Hate.
Yeah, that's why I said she got put in timeout, because she was back in this issue.
Yeah.
After savagely killing the dead guy. Like, I'm a big Sullivan Grundy fan. That bummed me out. I'm like, come on.
Well, he can't really kill him.
No. That's why I said there's waiting for him to come back now. Now, Salem. This is the forgotten forgotten protege sidekick of Dr. Fate.
Who totally believes she should be the new Dr. Fate.
Yeah, dude. She's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely crazy. She's hysterical.
She's hot.
What's another one for you, Paul?
The only other one that I got this week was the Beast World.
I have yet.
It hasn't arrived yet. That hasn't arrived yet. So.
Woo! This was fun. Not much happens in it. Licking wounds after the battle. Metallo's setting up shop, or going back to the shop. You can see he's a little headstrong, ready to fight and kill Superman. His leaders, his bosses were mad that he even engaged with Superman. He's like, I could have killed him. And they're like, but no one was watching. The world has to see Superman fall. We get introduced to Lois's dad. Fantastic scene with General Lane and Superman, where they're talking to each other. And why were you even out there? Why? It's like, I saved your pilot. Why were you out there? He's like, I heard a distress call. You're eavesdropping on us. Like, no, I'm not eavesdropping on y'all. I've trained my hearing to listen out for certain things, cries for help, explosions, stuff like that. Otherwise, I'd be overwhelmed. He's like, all right, fine, but don't do it again, and don't you go after him. Like, I got to go after him. I got to help. And he takes off. He's like, and then General Lane's talking, and Highball's next to me. He goes, I don't know what my daughter sees in you, but watch your step. And Highball's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, I'm not talking to you, because Superman's like miles away. He's like talking to the air. When he knows Superman can hear him, like, yo, that was a moment right there. It was really cool. General Lane don't care. Yeah, that's my little girl. Did you pick anyone else pick up Neil before Zod #1?
That's what I was just reading. I just finished it.
Oh, you finished up? I'll say we could touch on it next week, because I don't have anyone else to talk to about it. Yeah, I was excited for this. Getting another Superman title, Superman adjacent title. The last time we had one was the World of Krypton, which I loved. I forget who does the art for Powers and stuff like that. Like 3 names or something. Oming.
Yeah, Von Oming or something like that, or Alan Von or something like that, right?
Oming. But that was the last time we had a good like Zod Jor-El story. Now we have Zod in real time, setting up shop on his own planet, which he's calling New Kandor, and he's trying to get everything in order before he supersizes Kandor to repopulate this planet with the survivors of the OG Krypton. But what he's dealing with here is he has a kid that's at a certain age now that he thinks he should challenge his father, and no Zod is going to challenge Zod. He's like, you're soft, kid. You've been raised and everything given to you by me, like in the soft world where there's no strife or anything. So you're about to learn the hard way. Get off my planet, go fend for yourself somewhere else, so you will respect this shield kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a good fight between them too, and also his wife is pregnant too, so she's
Ursula.
bearing another. Yeah,
And it's written by Joe
Bearing
Casey,
another-
right?
Yeah.
Who who had a really good run when he was on Action Comics for a
Adventures
while.
of Superman.
Yeah, he wrote that story. He wrote the very famous story. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way? He wrote that story. That was like people talk about that all the time. That was the one with Manchester Black and
Oh yeah, the Elite.
Yep.
One thing that is significant about this, it says the bloodbath starts here. Superman's deadliest enemy in his first solo series. The solicitation said this is about to be one of the most brutal comics of the year. Well, when his kid leaves, a few things happen on the world. The United Planets reach out to Zod, and they are aware of what he's doing and everything. So he's working inside the parameters of the galactic order there. But there's a small army that invades the Huns, right? The Kuns. The Kuns invade. Dude, you already know that the kids sent them there. They invaded this planet thinking that there's a weakling race here and we can just take up shop easily. And Zod destroys them. I mean, destroys them. Limbs, pieces flying everywhere. So I get where they're trying to push like the Zod's a brutal SOB kind of angle. So you get a pretty cool action scene in there, but a lot of it really is just setting up in this first issue. But I really have a feeling that this kid is like sending these problems his way. The United Planets reach out to him saying that we detected some kind of disturbance over there. And he's like, nah, everything's copacetic. Nothing's going on over here. But we'll see how it all ends. Zod apparently has a super weapon he's been building here, like making like his own Death Star out of this planet. And the kid wanted to go and fire it up and go destroy some stuff. And Zod's like, nah. But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, it hasn't. It hasn't. Maybe issue 2 might like grip me in, but like at this, I'm still kind of like I'm still not sure about it because like I don't know that much of what's happening. Like
there's no backstory to this at all. There is no backstory.
There is no.
No,
Okay.
You know exactly what I know about this.
Okay, it does have me interested. Like I'm interested more of like Sinister Sons that's coming out. I'm interested in that more now after reading this with Larzad. So I'm more interested in that. And Zod is just brutal. Like he's just beat the crap out of his kid.
Yeah,
I'm interested in Sinister Sons, but I don't want to invest in it because Peter Tomasi has signed exclusive with Ghost Machine. So what's going to happen with that?
He said it. He said, hold on.
I have to put it on now.
Yeah, Ghost Machine. It's coming.
So I'm sure that he's not very long for Sinister Sons.
Maybe you'll get 6 good issues out of him. We'll see. I want to know how much longer we have with JSA under its proper leadership. We'll see about that too. Should have told Flo to ask him that question. How long are you on JSA?
It was solicited as a maxi series, 12 issues.
Okay.
So,
well, hey, that means we have at least 7 more years on it because we're only up to issue number what? We're only up to issue 8, so we have at least 7 more years of it then.
Right.
Everyone loved Tomasi Super Sons, it looks like. Mm-hmm. Did you not pick up Flash?
Oh, that was 2 weeks ago, though.
Okay, I don't know what's when. I could have sworn that was this week. I don't know. And then last one, Ghost Rider 21. I know we didn't talk comics last week. Some of this Chris Ross. This is the final issue of Ghost Rider. It went out in a blaze of glory.
I see what you did there.
Talia Warroad made the ultimate sacrifice kind of thing to take like her, like the whole thing was like the cult of Mephisto. It was like this other like hell-powered guy, you know, like how Talia has like the dark arts kind of thing. This dark arts guy who like brainwashes kids to do like the bidding of Mephisto. That's where she had her origin in the dark arts, and she had to kind of face her demons kind of thing was the last story arc. It was a decent little battle and everything, and she takes him down with her like that. It was a cool little ending. So wondering what was going to happen with the Talia character beyond this. She was new to me inside this series. I don't know if this was the first introduction of that character, but I really enjoyed this run. 21 was the final issue. Benjamin Percy did a great job at it. Highly suggest this Ghost Rider run to anybody who's a fan of the character. It was awesome. Next time we see a Ghost Rider issue will be like in a month or so with an issue number 1. I believe Benjamin Percy is still writing it, but we'll be getting introduced to a new writer that'll be taking over as the primary character. So we have Frank Garrison is a current character front running the Punisher book. Questionable person, new Moon Knight in the Moon Knight book, and we'll have a new Ghost Rider. So it looks like that's kind of like the Marvel shtick of the year is just shifting into new mantles, which is
Right.
which can be cool. We've gotten a lot of cool characters over the years when they do that. That's how we got Danny Ketch. You know what I mean?
Didn't PKJ, didn't he also introduce a new Ghost Rider? Has he done that?
Yes, and probably the coolest Ghost Rider I've ever seen. So like he's still happening right now in the Hulk stuff. You have this World War II motorcycle soldier whose bike is just like decrepit and deteriorating on almost like an Indian reservation kind of thing, and protects his family from these things that come at night and attack this little village. And he fires up with his World War II Thompson and just goes ham. And you had an awesome Ghost Rider Hulk fight until they realized that Hulk was no longer the threat. Like they kind of came to terms with each other, realizing they were both trying to protect the village from each other in the moment. And when the fighting stopped, the rider didn't shut off. And then they look over and their town's being attacked. So like it's he's super cool. Super cool. Writer Jeff Johns, Justice Society number 10. So at least to number 10, we got Jeff Johns solicited of 12. So appreciate
I
it.
wish you would just do the whole 12. That would be
Probably is. 11 is just not available in the solicitation yet.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll write the last issues. It's just a matter of when.
What a great swan song for him for now, at least. Who knows what the future holds? But like, if you're gonna write a final DC book for a while for Jeff Johns, I feel like Stargirl or JSA is it. I mean, he's or Green Lantern. Green Lantern would be one too. I think that'd probably be his number one, to be honest with you. Green Lantern. That's his biggest print that he's left behind. But that's all I got to cover for tonight, book wise. Y'all got anything else that y'all want to hit on? TM, Paul?
What is that coming out next week?
They still do previews, Scott. Marvel has their own magazine for it. DC has one called Connect. DC uses a different distributor. It's kind of gotten weird. Next week, we're diving into the next era of Action Comics with issue 1061. The Dawn of DC banner is gone. The Superman Superstars is there. It's starting with Jason Aaron will be writing it. John Timms is on the art. It's a Bizarro story where he's tapping into like Ultra Bizarro, like Smart Bizarro. I cannot wait. I was kind of like, oh, PKJ is gone. And then they previewed all this in this week's books. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. I cannot wait. Also, coming next week, Transformers issue number 4. We have Green Lantern issue number 7. And like I've been saying, issue 7s have been popping lately. Don't forget, Beast World is continuing with number 4. Sandman number 4 with a beautiful Jeff Lemire variant. Here you go, TM. You ready? Rebel Moon. We're getting a prequel book about the Blood Axe family and seeing some of their motivations and what really sparked them as leaders in the rebellion. There's also this cool blank cover that I'm thinking, you know what? A sketch by somebody drawing Jimmy on there, the robot that Sir Anthony Hopkins is voicing, that would be dope. Like with the crown, that he put on. Yes. Also, I know a lot
antlers,
of
I should say.
Yeah. I'm excited to check out Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 and potentially for the first time, God, and forever have a Spider-Man book to look forward to. You know, the last Spider-Man number 1 I picked up because JR was on it, but the writing was god awful. I'm like, I'm out. So hopefully Ultimate Spider-Man will be cool. We'll see.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if a certain comic was coming out. We'll talk about it next week on the
That's exciting that you have all those covers. You should put those into a video or something.
Yeah.
Probably should. Unnatural Order number 2 dropped this past week. Paul said it was really good. That's the one that we did the Comicx Curing Cancer exclusive for, the number 1 that Vault put out for free. What book are you talking about, TM?
John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America.
I'll definitely be picking up a Constantine.
Yeah, it has like 3 characters I like. It has John Constantine, Dream, and Swamp Thing going to be in it.
Oh, I forgot like that, all the Sandman universe stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the synopsis states that like Dream needs John Constantine's help and reaches out to him.
You got to be down bad. You got to be down real bad.
It's the book that Cy Spurrier was meant to write.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm still like on cloud 9 from that Suicide Squad Blaze Black Label series that he did. That was so freaking good when Peacemaker pulled the hair. Like, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild, man. That was good. Heading to my nightly horizontal recharge station. Fun hangout. Good night, Legionnaires. All right, big guy. Talk to you tomorrow, Pop Pop. Good stuff. Good stuff. I too am about to make like a baby and head out. I got a fun day tomorrow of haircutting dogs and building ceilings. Mm.
Yeah.
TM, who do you have on Between the Lines tomorrow, and whose channel is it on? You or Roscoe's?
It'll be on my channel, and it'll be Cliffy White. Cliff on Comicx.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, and you're gonna like the theme too. The theme is Legion of Superheroes.
Nice. I hope he draws me.
That
Just to
would make
throw a
more sense.
curveball.
Well, actually, I can see more Roscoe drawing you, considering he has no idea. Like he's just like, I have no idea who these guys are.
He should draw you in one of like the 70s costumes at the
Yeah.
and like Cosmic Boys.
Yeah.
I want to see anybody that wants to draw. You can draw from home and send them to me on Instagram. I want to see a bunch of them, and when I say a bunch of them, I want to see a bunch of Brainiac 5s or Triplicate Girl. Triplicate Girl's hot.
All three of them.
She's a drawn figure on a piece of paper, but she's still hot.
Super dope. And who do you the Aquaman one is tomorrow, right? Atlantis on the DC Deep Dive. That's tomorrow. Is at 10 a.m. DC
10
Deep
a.m.
Dive.
Correct. This is not a Guess That Key week. It'll be a week from, regardless of what TM Nerdy tells you, this is not a Guess That Key week. It will be next week, and we will have the two people that you are probably going to see next in just a moment. We'll have the two people from Sunday Night Live. It will be Trev the Shipping Guru and Evil Mike. Evil Comics.
And don't forget to head over to Trev's channel. He's doing a giveaway. I think it's live right now. It started just a little bit ago.
Yep.
So he's celebrating a 3K milestone over there on his channel. It's Trev the Shipping Guru. So go check him out. Give him some thumbs up, some support, and all that good stuff.
Tell him you're looking forward to seeing them on Guess That Key.
Yeah. Let him know.
I will jump on their stream and be like, I hear you guys are going to be on Guess That Key this week.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I will pop over there and listen for you to say that. But I'm going to be listening from there.
Well, and to be fair, I did a show with Mike a couple of yesterday. Was it yesterday?
It was yesterday, yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, my days are all like, I don't know. Like we went super long.
It was you, Cliff, and Mike, right?
He did say that it was this week, so that's what got me all confused.
Okay.
It happens. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good night. Videos coming out. If you're a fan of Godzilla or Kong, got a bunch of shorts that have been going on with that as well. So be sure to check that out. Until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.